Good day, podcast community. Pete Kane here, Podcast Pete and certified high performance coach. My four human drivers talk for groups and associations. This is a 20-minute talk, and I'm going to cover four topics, 3 points. We always do 3 points for each of our 5-minute talks, but I want to give you a sense of what your group and association can have access to. Because I think today, if we aren't aware of our four human drivers, we don't live with that aliveness, that connection, that meaningful purpose and growth. That's possible. And it's just a mindset shift. And when you shift your mind to focus on the four human drivers, magical things happen. An abundance mindset. A mindset that anything is possible, a mindset that you are the magic and anything is possible. But that takes skills, focus, clarity, energy, courage, productivity, and influence. Okay, let's get into the first one. Okay, aliveness, morning routine. I like to break my day into 3 days. When 100 years ago, when you had to put a note and send it across the country, may take 30 days, may take 3 months. But there was a slow way of communicating. Now it's instant. You can text somebody, you can talk to somebody around the world, but you're still in a mindset of 24 hours. So by capturing 3 days in one and having that morning mindset being your foundation to launch your day gives you aliveness that is beautiful to experience. Mine, I wake up, I drink water, I do my 5 to thrive, I'll have my coffee, I'll start journaling, then I plan. So you could do wake up, start thinking, drink your water, you got to hydrate. And when you hydrate, you're feeling better. Then when you start your day, get your thoughts on paper. Get them out of your head and into a journal. Have a morning routine of journaling. It's magical. I used to run before my stroke. I was a recreational runner, 20-some Peachtree Road races. That was my quiet time. That was my peaceful sanctuary time of just thinking and running. I don't run anymore. I bike because if I run, I'll face plant. And face planting is not what you want to do. So by having a different routine, what I'm doing is journaling. That's my peaceful time. That's my time to think. We have between 12 and 60,000 thoughts that go through our head every day. Every day. Now, how are you supposed to be clear about anything but clutter? And information's doubling like every 12 minutes. It's ridiculous. And then AI gets kicked in there. Maybe it's doubling every minute. It's crazy. Your brain has to be able to think. AI is a tool. Thinking is what makes you unique. Your ability to exercise that thinking can be done through journaling. I have probably 20 some journals now in the last 3 years. And I probably had 5 in the first 50 years. So from 50 years to 20 in 3, there's something different. And what's different is the clarity that comes with thinking on paper, writing. I have a digital journal, but I have a written one. Anytime I want to sit down, and maybe before it was scroll or do something that didn't challenge my thinking, didn't get me clear. But now I journal. So I'm always writing because it gives me clarity, gives me energy, gives me to courage to try things. Because if you're not sure of something, you want to challenge yourself, write about it. It's a magical because you're getting the thoughts on paper. You're getting clear about what you want to do. And if you set up that morning routine, it gives you the fuel to your rocket for the day. And then you break your day into 3 6-hour days. 3 in 1. 3 in 1. Why do you have to have an hour meeting? Well, maybe it could be done in 5 minutes. But we always think about what we've done in the past. I've always had an hour meeting. Well, you stretch it out. I've always had 24 hours. Well, I stretch out. But when we were living in 100 years ago, when we didn't have electricity, we didn't have computers, we didn't have all this stuff, we'd go to bed when it got dark. And that was probably about 7 o'clock. So you couldn't do anything because you were under candles. So think about the way you set your day up, your routine, your morning routine. That's the fuel to your rocket. Avoid distraction, avoid consumption. So when you avoid those kind of things like checking your email first thing, well, you're checking other people's priorities and you'll go down a distracted path. But establish the morning routine. Okay, 2, I'm going to give you a little bit more on the journaling with purpose. Plenty of us journal, but if you look at it with the purpose of clarity, energy, courage, productivity, and influence, it changes you. And it changed me because I have an idea. Like every Monday, I love Mondays. Mondays are the most exciting day because it comes after a weekend and it comes after where I get with my team and we're plan out the week. We talk about the week. We hadn't talked since Thursday. So we have a few days that we've been working and processing and we hit the ground. It's the most exciting time. Now, it never was before I had my stroke. I was like, oh, look at the things I got to do. I dreading all the things I got to do because my list is too long. My priorities didn't set them, didn't have a meaningful purpose, didn't have the connections I have now, which is simply meaningful conversations. We'll talk about that next. But having a purpose makes everything work. A meaningful purpose. The meaningful purpose to show up for the meeting. We don't have to sit around for an hour and kill time. Time is precious. That's the most valuable thing you have. You have 24 hours. I have 24 hours. How I prioritize my time is probably different than you may, but it only takes a change and a focus and understanding what it means to have that journaling on purpose. And then exercise. Gotta move. Grooving is moving is grooving. You gotta move that thing. If we sit behind a computer all day, we don't take the breaks, we don't move, we don't walk, we don't exercise, then we will pay for it because you only get one body, only one. Can't trade it in, although you can get a hip replacement, a knee replacement, and you get a lot of things replaced. But take care of it. It's the most precious asset you have. So take care of it. Move. Whatever you do, just think of movement. Movement is medicine. Moving and grooving. And your exercise, that starts off with your aliveness. Now let's talk about connection. What do we mean by that? We are humans. We need each other. We need relationships. We need to connect. So make it intentional. Instead of texting, every time you want to communicate with somebody you love and cherish, call them, talk to them. If you want to meet with them, do it. Meet with them. Connection comes with human connection, voice, talking to somebody, sitting across the table and having a conversation with a person. When we isolate ourselves, we go down a path that's not pleasant. I've been there. Whenever I hit tough times, I isolated. And whenever you isolate, you get this thing whacked out because you're not, if you're journaling like we talked in the first Aliveness, you're getting those thoughts out. You're getting those. Most of us will replay the past. It's kind of like driving your car, looking in the rearview mirror. You're going to crash. If you look forward versus look backward, it takes time to exercise that. Look forward, abundant future, bright future, having meaningful purpose, having that aliveness creates that looking forward. And if you learn the heart of serving, it's like putting that abundance on steroids. Okay. I like to say level up, not me, Brendan, level up your peer group. I think the number is when we die, we have a handful of people, like one or two, that would carry our casket if we chose to do that. Because we haven't invested intentionally in leveling up our connections, our relationships, challenging yourself to learn how to connect with new people. If you got the same person over and over and over again, that's where you'll get stale. But if you intentionally level up, and we have a training on it, so you can always check that out on our YouTube channel. But being intentional, we have like about 150 people we know, like, and trust. When you're bringing a new person into that circle, there's an excitement of excitement of learning somebody. So if you're intentional about leveling up, calling people, going to lunch with people, going to coffee with people, whatever, but do it with the idea of connecting. My friends at B and I do one-on-ones because they want to check it off and they want to go up the ladder of the traffic report. That's done with the mindset of I got to check it off. So it's not the same thing as having a meaningful conversation, a deeper conversation with somebody, as opposed to just check it off, check it off, check it off. You can go deeper in your relationships if you have the intention of what you want to accomplish. Always learning, growing, challenging yourself. The same people over and over and over again is boring. You want to challenge yourself. And then next one is the type of conversations. I think what has happened with podcasting for my muscle of curiosity, it's given me a skill set I never realized until I did 400 of them plus, is if I want to know something, I ask. I ask my guests. I try to invite people on that I want to know about them. I want to know. I'm curious, generally. It's always been that way. But it's exercised a muscle. That's why we talk about podcasting, creating, and coaching. If you're always podcasting, you're meeting people. You're building you're building your relationships. You are building a thriving community because I connect people after the podcast because I know them through their story. So as we tell their story to our community gets to hear. I get to find out who I need to meet, who needs to meet this person, and how I can add value so they can build a thriving business because it enables you to build relationships in a meaningful way. That helps those meaningful conversations on the podcast is absolutely game changing, earth changing, whatever you want to say. It's changing. It changes you because you're having a meaningful conversation. All right. Let's talk about meaningful pursuit. All right. So, meaningful pursuit. The average person dies 2 years after they retire. Why? They lose their connections, they lose their pursuit, they lose their aliveness of being around people, and their influence can deteriorate or can go down. We get it from people that were around. And when we retire, we have to reset. We have to change. What are we going to do now? Maybe you had a life where you were an engineer. And if you look at it as now I'm going to do something completely different, you've challenged your brain to think differently. You have a different pursuit, a more meaningful pursuit. Like I'm in the Rotary at North Cobb, and a gentleman, Jeff, retired. He was an engineer, I think mechanical. And he talked about resetting the bag. Read the book, Repack your bag. And now has a pursuit of service because he has more time than he did when he was working and traveling and doing all the things that didn't allow him to have this pursuit. But instead of sitting on the porch doing nothing, he's pursuing a meaningful pursuit of service. And if you have a chance to come to our Rotary, you'll meet on any given day, any given Thursday morning, you'll meet. I think 80 people come on a regular basis. It's about 125, 30 in our chapter. You'll feel the energy. You'll feel the excitement, the joy of people that are serving and serving in a meaningful way. And that creates excitement. So you look at that. How are you serving? What's your pursuit? Do you have a vision? Do you have an idea for a brighter future? Do you want to have an abundant life? It's possible. What's the Bible say? A man without a vision will perish. Well, translate that into retirement. A man or a woman who doesn't have another purpose after retirement dies 2 years after that. Do you want to die or do you want to live? Do you want to live an alive, meaningful, purpose life with excitement because you have that in your mind? So clarity comes when you're thinking about what am I going to do once I retire? Well, start writing. What do you like to do? What do you enjoy? What do you enjoy? What turns your light on in yourself? What gets you excited? Well, now you have the time to pursue it. And that can be anything. Traveling, yes. Golf, yes. Can be more days on the golf course, but I guarantee you're going to say, how many days do I need to play? And that's a subject for another day. But that meaningful purpose in your retirement years is very, very important because it's a human driver. We have to have a vision. I think a lot of it's going on in our culture, society, is people don't have a vision for their life. They don't have meaningful purpose. Firebombing Teslas, that's not a meaningful purpose. Beating up people, That's not meaningful purpose. Yelling and screaming at people, not purpose. When you have a purpose to serve, and you serve, you make an impact. You make an impact, you're going to be so excited about what you're doing. So when you look at that meaningful purpose, focus on what do you want to do with your life? How do you want to live it? And when you have that human driver of meaningful purpose just drives you to an abundant life. All right, growth. Our last one. Oops, this is over 20 minutes. I got to work on it. I don't want to do a 30-minute talk when I have 20 minutes. I'll work on the 20 minutes. But here's growth. Growth is so critical that we're growing each day. I used Growth Day as my way to grow, to learn, to get better. And I do it daily, the 5 to Thrive through Growth Day. And you can try it. I'll put it on here. Nope, didn't do that. That's not right. Let me see here. Hold on here, Nelly. I know I got it here. I just added one. But just put Growth Day after pk.me. And if you do that, send us a support ticket. If you want to keep this, there's a 7-day trial. If after you want to do that and you want to invest in yourself, you want to grow, then it's $50 a month. That will help you grow in every area. Challenge, you have challenges. You have Brenda Bouchard talking to you each day. 20 years of doing coaching, building communities, helping people grow. And you can have that every day. And then like on Mondays, which this is being filmed on, you have Ed Milet on Mondays, Motivational Mondays. We all need motivation. And Ed talked about 3 days in one. And if you have that kind of mentality, you're going to get so much more meaningful things done because you're growing. Those ideas come in every single day. You want to be a better public speaker? Well, there's courses in there. You want to learn how to be a better interviewer? Larry King's probably one of the best. Learn from Larry King. You want to learn from the other speakers, trainers, coaches. They're in there. You want to be a better parent? Search parenting in the search bar, and bingo, is going to come up with ways that you can be a better parent. Growing. I'm going to use journaling again as my 3 under personal growth. That has helped me immensely because I'm able to write my thoughts. And writing them on a journal allows me to grow. It allows me to feed my meaningful purpose. It allows me to have that aliveness. And the last is coaching and mentoring. The top people in any industry, no exceptions, have coaches, period. Got to just ask them. You can't do it alone. Will not get anything. You can get to on football analogy, you can get to the 20-yard line. But if you settle for kicking field goals, that's what you're settling for in life. When the celebration is in the end zone. Michael Jordan accomplished the best, you could say either Kobe or him, the 2 best. You can always make an argument to anybody now, but not anybody, but some of the top ones. But here, these 2 are just the utmost. They all had coaches. Michael Jordan, when he went to Chicago, great scorer, winning a few games. Then when Phil Jackson came in, he put the team around him, got them to work as a team, got them to work together. 5. Count them, 5 national championships. Without a coach, he'd have been a great scorer. With a coach, 5 national championships. Do you want your national championship? Hire a coach. I'm a certified high performance coach. We have an amazing program for people where we coach you 2 times a week for 1 hour. And then the other we help you create content. Coach, content. Coach, content. And magical things happen, because if you become a key person of influence and you're growing, the future is bright. So if you can go to pkane.me/media if you want us to come speak, or me to speak, and we have others coming. But if you want me to come and speak to your group or association, just go to the page, pkane.me/media. If you want to connect with us, let's see. Yes, here we go. Just go to pkane.me/connect. Connect to our vibrant community. Yes. The future is bright if you activate it. The future is bright if you apply the 4 human drivers: awareness, connection, meaningful purpose, and growth. I'm Pete Kane. Be bold. Make an impact.